Welcome my dears, lecture 2 XML document structure. XML documents, purely it is user perspective. Every user can create XML document for a given concept. So definitely it will be varied from one user to other users. All XML elements are user defined. This is also one of the important point that I would like to mention. XML document can contain element, attributes and values. We may have a doubt about what is tag and element. Tag, element, both are more or less same. Tag, normally we use this term in HTML, hypertext markup language. We know the purpose of HTML, it is for designing and display purpose, so that the tags may or may not be paired, but in XML all the tags should be paired tags, so that it is called an element. Element in the sense it has opening as well as closing tag. I hope you understand. Opening tag, closing tag. When we have both, then it is called an element. Elements can have one or more child elements, subchild elements, text and attributes. So I can say these are the components of XML document. It is purely user perspective, so that the depth of elements will be varied, and at any number of depth can be allowed for an XML document. So all XML documents should have elements, root element, parent, child, subchild, attribute. So all these components should follow naming rules. It should follow proper naming convention. So before starting about how to write an XML document, I would like to show you how to create an XML document. You can use normal text editor, in which open new document, then type the document. After that we have to save with .xml extension. This is the procedure for creating our first XML document using text editor like Notepad. We have rules for making an XML document. What are the rules? Why we need rules for making an XML document? Because we have to ensure the well formedness. What is that well formedness? It is whether we have followed the 6 rules which I have given here to make an XML document. The document should be properly structured document. It has provided a tree structure. So, the entire information can be transformed in the form of tree structured text information. The advantage of making a normal information into XML document is reusability. Later we can access all component based on the need, and we can specify retrieve first element or second element, the second element fetch second attribute, or third child whether it has any text related to particular condition. So, this is the way we can access each and every component available in the XML document. First, the XML document should have only one root tag, and second, all the tags are paired tags, which means it should have opening and closing tag. We may have attribute for an XML element. If we have any attribute, then its value should be double quoted, and case matters, which means it is not like HTML. If we open any tag like student, then it should be closed properly. If I am writing like this in capital letter, this is wrong. Why? Because the closing tag is not matched with the opening tag. Both should be same case. So, case matters. Then hierarchy must be followed for elements. I have opened student element and I have closed it properly. Then I have started another element as a child for student, and I am writing some text here and I am closing properly. After that, I am creating name element and I am giving some text, and this is name. Here you can see the first child, second child are closed first, then only the parent has been closed. This is closing tag of parent element. Okay. So, this is the way we have to follow hierarchy. Then entity reference should be given in the XML document. We will discuss what is an entity. At present, I can say it is abbreviation for an XML content. Some of the place in my XML document, I would like to specify like this: MCA semicolon, then slash course I have. So, what is this? This is an entity. We will discuss the entity as a separate concept. So, before using this entity ampersand MCA semicolon, we have to define what is MCA. I would like to specify Master of Computer Applications as a elaborated text, and I have given this as abbreviation MCA short form. So, this is called entity. So, entity should be defined before used it in the document. Those are the 6 rules for making an XML document. Every element should follow the naming conventions. Say for example, the XML element may have alphanumeric characters. What is that? Small a, b, c, like that, small z, then capital A to capital Z, and numeric also allowed, 0, 1, 2, like this. This is the way the elements can be created, and at the same time we can follow the same naming rules for making an attribute for an element. Suppose I want to create element like this. It is element student underscore name. So this is the way we can use underscore, or we can use like this, student hyphen name. This is also correct. Then period can also be used in element, but please remember the XML element should not start with numbers. Okay, this is wrong. It should not start with space. Okay, space, then I have given student, it is space. Okay, character space I have, student, then it is also wrong, and it should not start with dot. These are wrong creation of element. This kind of wrong names should not be given for element as well as attribute. Elements may not contain white space, begin with hyphen, period or number, right. These are the rules for making element attribute. Now we will discuss an example XML document. This is a statement. Arjun is studying BCA course and his register number is 1190809112. This is information. How I am making this information as an XML document? This is purely user perspective. As one of the user, I have created this XML document. This document can be saved with stud.xml. This is first XML document in which I have created the XML document starting with only one root tag. Yeah, we have only one root tag. Okay, it's a root tag, student / student. Closing tag should start with /. Opening tag should not have any /, backward or forward /. Okay, so student / student. It has 3 child elements: register number, name, course. Student has register number, this is first child, this is second child, and this is third child. How I have converted the given information into XML document? You can see here, student taken because Arjun is studying is mentioned, so that I have given student. We have to understand the context of given information. For that information, we have to create proper XML document. The XML document should follow the rules and it should be very close to problem space. Say for example, according to this statement, Arjun is studying BCA course, so that I consider Arjun as student, so that I have created student. Employee is working for a company as assistant manager, so it is very relevant. Employee and his employee ID equal to within double quotes C110. I have closed this and slash employee. Opening element and closing element are included. This is root tag. Employee is working for a company and his employee ID is C110 and he is working as assistant manager. So, I can create designation as a child. Here I am giving assistant ASST dot manager. It is also allowed. You can write anything as a text for an element. So, designation slash designation. You can see here only one root tag is there, and for a root tag only one child element we have. It is also closed properly, and additionally the employee tag, so root tag, it is having additional information. What is that? It is attribute, right? So, what are the elements? What are the elements are there? One is employee and designation. Then attributes. What are the attributes we have? Only one attribute, that is EMP capital ID I have. Values. What are the values I have? Values, in the sense it means attributes value. Attributes value. So, C110, C110 is a value. What is the text I have? The text is only assistant manager. Assistant manager. These are components of an XML document. So, this XML document can be written in different way. Look at here. I want to create same XML document. I have employee, can I have like this? No. Even though I have opening and closing tags are very close to problem, but it is not a valid one, because opening and closing elements are wrong. So, this is wrong. I have one more, employee, EMP ID within double quotes C110 employee ID slash employee. Is it well formed XML document? Yes, but it is not satisfying the problem, because the given problem is an employee is working for a company as an assistant manager and his employee ID is C110. I missed some information. I have not extracted all the information properly. So, even though it is syntactically correct but semantically wrong. Right. So, it is not up to the level. We have to consider well-formedness as well as semantic rules. Okay, but remember, browser will not check semantic correctness. Browser check only syntactic correctness. What are the syntactic rules? We have written already. These are the 6 rules. Only one root tag. So, parser, also called XML processor, will check whether the document has root tag, all the child elements are closed properly, is there is any attribute and its values double quoted, case sensitive is there, all the elements are properly following the case sensitivity, nestification is there properly, is there is any entity, its reference is returned. These are the things must be validated by an XML parser when we are running it on any browser. So, valid and invalid naming convention. These are the example. I can show you. Sometimes we have not created root tag and sometimes we have not closed the opening tag properly. So, we should be very clear about this. Employee, I have EMP ID, employee ID, I have C1100, then here I am creating name also, name Ganesh, and I have closed the name properly. After that only I have to close EMP ID. Now it is correct because name is a child of EMP ID. Now the employee should be closed properly, /employee. You can see all these XML elements are closed, properly nested, there is no attribute, so that attribute values are not double quoted. That is all about this example. What are the components of XML document? The XML document will have an element. It is a first primary component for XML document. The element may be a root, parent, child, subchild. These are the categories of elements, and it has text. What is text? As I have given, student, studying MCA /student. The student is a element. It is root because I do not have any child or subchild or any attribute. I have only one element for my XML document. So, it is root. And what is this? It's a text. It's a text. Then there is no attribute, there is no subchild, there is no child, but this is also an XML document. I can say XML document can have only root or combinations of root, child, subchild, parent, attribute, attribute values, entities as well as text. It is based on the ideology of the programmers and users. There is no restriction to create only this pattern of document. I can say the XML document should be based on any validation tool, DTD or schema. If XML document is associated with DTD or schema, in the sense definitely it should be based on DTD or schema. I have written how my XML document should be, how XML element, how many, that is number of occurrences. I have specified every rule using DTD or schema. Then the DTD or schema will be associated with the XML document. Then definitely the XML document should confirm the rules whatever I have specified in the DTD or schema. There I should not create any other structure, I should not provide any other structure other than schema or DTD definitions. The XML document is associated with the DTD schema, so that the rules can be written in the DTD as well as in the schema. This is called validation, that we will discuss in the forthcoming sessions. I can say which one is root, which one is parent, which one is child. In our previous example, this is a root, employee is a root, this one is a root, root tag. EMP ID is a child for employee, and name is subchild. Why? Because it is a child of employee ID, employee ID is a child of employee. So, subchild for employee. Later we will be framing all these rules, that is what we are learning. What are the components, what are the descriptions about parent, child, subchild, these components. Right. I move on to some more examples. It is working with root, parent and child elements. It is properly structured XML document. Here I am writing school name equal to computing. I have closed this root tag. School, which is an element which has one attribute, that is name, and I am having name element which is a child of school, SOC, School of Computing, I have given. Name has been closed. Then I have department. I have department. The department which is having this is the way I have created the child elements for department. You can create as you like, but we have to follow the rules for making an XML document. This is computer applications /MCA. How many child elements department has? 3 child elements. So department should be closed properly. Shall I close name here? Is it right? No, it is wrong, because already it is closed. Actually, this is wrong approach. We should not have it. Why? Because name is already there, name already closed properly. It should not be taken here itself. Either you can remove this /name or this /name. According to the context, I would like to remove this one, right. Then I can have all these elements are properly nested. Department has been taken properly, name, then I would like to close school /school. So what is an attribute? Computing, that is attribute is name, attribute value is computing. So these are the components of an XML document. This is one way of writing the XML document. I can write different way. I would like to have Shastra, it's a root tag, school equal to SOC, opening tag I have given. For Shastra element, I have created an attribute, always giving additional information about element. So it is adding additional feature. Then I have closed it properly. Shastra, school equal to SOC. Then I would like to have SOC. I have this department, CSE department. I have underscore CSE department. Then I have IT underscore department. Then I have MCA underscore department. I have written some text here and I have closed it properly, CSE underscore department. And I have some text for IT, it is also closed properly, and I have /MCA underscore department. See, all the child elements are closed properly. I have not modified the actual context of the same XML document, because I have added the department as element along with CSE, IT and MCA, and I have closed this element properly /Shastra. This is one of the way we can produce the information. So, we should know one thing, that is XML documents are user perspective. We can write in our own style based on the XML rules, and we ensure the well formedness of an XML document. XML documents are structured as a tree. You can see here Shastra. Okay, it is Shastra is a root tag, can have SOC, only one child. For this child we have CSE, IT and MCA. These are child for SOC. SOC is a child of Shastra. So, how many root element can we have? The sense only one. How many parent element can root element have? The sense the root element can have one or more parent element. I can say, if I say SOC is a parent, the sense definitely it has child CSE, IT, MCA. Okay. So, Shastra has one or zero or more child elements. SOC is one of the child, School of Management is another child, School of EEE is another child. So, how many parents we have? SOC is one parent element for CSE, IT and MCA, and please remember, how many parent can be applicable for a child? The sense exactly only one. CSE has only one parent, IT has only one parent, MCA has only one parent. So, Shastra is a root tag, has 3 child and one of the child holding 3 subchild elements that are given here. First element in a document, which is a root, it may contain 0 or more child elements, parent and child elements. The parent, 0 or more parent elements can be included for the root element. Please remember this. I am not saying that one child may have more than one parent, it is wrong. Root tag has 1 or more or 0 or more child elements. That child elements may or may not have child elements, right. So, child elements can have exactly only one parent element. That is all about the relationship parent, child, subchild elements. You can go in any depth. Say for example, this is the root. From the root we have created one child. From this child we have created another child. From this we have created another child. For child 3, child 2 is a parent. Child 2, child 1 is a parent. For child 1, root tag is a parent. This is parent child relationship, which will provide proper tree structure. Then we may have one more example about this. Okay, I can take it here itself. I have it here. I have student, students, plural I have written, and here I am writing students. Then here I am creating student, student. I have some content here and it has been closed properly. Again I am repeating student. I have some text and this is also closed. Again I have student. It is also closed properly. See, student, 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 3 times it is repeated. 3 times it is repeated. I can say the number of occurrences is 3 for student. Student is a child for students. Okay, but it is repeated thrice. It may be repeated exactly twice or thrice, or it is unbounded n number of times. If I want, I can make a student's file with more than 1000 student records. So it will be acting as a record. This is first record, this is second record, this is third record, and so on. We will be having 1000 records in this way. Students slash students. Understand the difference between root tag and child elements. How many child I have? 3 children, student, student, student. Even though the same child element has been repeated, it is also considered for counting. So students slash students I have. This is also a right way of making our own XML document. Today we have learnt how to create an XML document. This is how to create an XML document we have studied, and rules for making an XML document, then naming rules applied for element, all category of element, parent, child, subchild, root, as well as attributes, and also the values, how it should be given. It should be given double quotes, within double quotes. Its attribute, attribute values. Then text. What is text? An element which is having a content which is called text. This is an example. These are the important rules that we have to follow for making an XML document, and later the well formed XML document can be validated with the help of DTD or schema. That is all about this concept. Have a nice day. Good luck to you all.